What is going on, guys? Joey here with FLEXX Training Systems. My voice is a little bit messed up. After collegiates, I got something. It really only affected my throat and my little bit of body aches, but it's kind of going away, so please bear with me. I'm going to try to give you guys a video today that will be very useful for you. I think everybody can improve on this. Unless you've been doing this for like 10 years, then maybe a little bit less, but it's just one of those things that if you can master this, you will reach a level in the gym that many people struggle with. It's just like to get to that point. I'm going to try to give you guys, it's tough, right? I'm going to try to give you guys a quick fix when you're having a bad day in the gym. But until you do it many times, it won't feel as good, and I'll explain. So, also, I found that my videos are best when I am like directly addressing something that comes up, and I think that's what allows me to make like a lot of quality videos. One of my better ones is when I'm dealing with something in the moment with a lifter. I'm actually dealing with a scenario with a lifter. And then I'm just addressing that, and I'm just like doing it, in a video, obviously keeping the lifter's name out because it's all new things. These are not new things. These are all things that you guys are going to go through. Like it's literally like clockwork, right? Obviously there's variations between like individuals, like in terms of how they interpret different levels of adversity. But I think we all have bad days in the gym. We all have days where we go into the gym and we have an expectation that is higher than what we're able to display. And so let's kind of get into it. I'm just going to paint a picture real quick. You come into the gym, you're not really thinking about your training. You don't really have any context for the session. You're just going into the gym and you're working up to a single. And as you're warming up, you're thinking about what you want to hit. Now, you're already messing up because you have a want, you have a desire, you have something that you would like to do, but because you don't have context, like you're just not thinking about your training, you're not aware of what's happening. You didn't talk to your coach, whatever. Instead of just taking what your body's giving you, which is fine, you're like, okay, I want to hit this number. The thing that's risky about that is you may not be able to hit that number given what you've been dealing with in life, right? You might have something going on or you just did a lot of volume last week. Like that could be as simple as that. And sometimes we have short-term memories, which can be good, and it also can like work against you. So it's like a fine balance. You want to have a short-term memory when things are bad, and you want to have, and at the same time, you want to kind of be aware of what you're doing as a whole. So you go into the gym, and, normally, like, when you're not doing tons of volume, let's just say that's the reason, because that's something that we can control, right? You go into the gym, you're like, hey, I'm supposed to squat like 500 pounds today, and you can't do it. You get to 455, 460, and it feels heavy. So you start getting really flustered. You're really frustrated. You start getting emotional. And then you load up like 490, or even worst case scenario, you load up that weight that you wanted and you fail it. So you feel like shit. Mentally, it's really messing with you. You don't want to do the lift anymore. You're getting frustrated. You start comparing yourself to the past. You start looking at your competitors on the internet, and it starts messing with your head. You start trying to find reasons or excuses for like why you had a bad day. And that's just a terrible thing because oftentimes it bleeds over to people around you. You're going to start blaming, you're going to like maybe take it out on, somebody close to you. Maybe you just are rude to somebody. Maybe you do something wrong at work, or it just messes you up mentally. Right? The body follows the mind. Whatever you're thinking, whatever you're doing with your emotions is like you're going to have to pay those consequences in real life. And that's not what you want to do because it can screw up more than just that day. It could screw up like a lot of other days. Now, you may not have necessarily screwed up your training, right? If you're not injured from that and you're in a state of fatigue, you weren't able to take that lift anyway. Yeah, you probably created a little bit more fatigue. But what I try to tell people, and I'm going to tell it to you, but it's going to be another thing for you to do it, is you got to go in the gym and okay, you're warming up and you're like, you have to identify as soon as possible, because over time you're going to be more aware. This is why I like training with RPE, because it's going to teach you more about your body. It's going to teach you like what you're capable of on good days, bad days, average days. When you've gotten stronger, you're just going to know. Like, you're literally just going to know because you've been doing it for so long, and you're always asking yourself, okay, how many reps did I have in the tank? How did that feel? How did it look versus how did it feel? And you just do this over many years and you become so good at it. You don't even have to think. It becomes like a instinct, right? So you go in the gym. As soon as you get to like 365, you're like, all right, I'm not strong today. I'm not. So what do? The actionable thing that you can do to move you forward. Like you cannot just magically make your fatigue go away. It doesn't matter how bad you want it to. Your fatigue is something that's going to take many days of recovery. It might take a week, it might take 10 days, whatever, to fully bring you out of that. That's not something that you can identify. What I would say is, in the actual session, you're in the session, you realize your fatigue, immediately you say, I'm lowering my expectations, I'm dropping my RPEs, and I'm going to take what my body has for the day. You treat it like a deload day even. All right, you go in, oh, I'm weak today, boom, you adjust down, you lower the weights, you take what you have, and you get out of there. Go do your accessories and get home, get your protein in, rest up, right? Then, if you have a coach or if you're coaching yourself, you're going to talk to your coach and you're going to say, I just want to let you know I felt really beat today. I ended up adjusting. And then your coach should take a look and say, oh, this is planned. We've been wrapping up your volume for the last 2 to 3 weeks. So no worries there. And then it's okay. So coach says it's planned. We want predictable training. We want things to be, happening within a realm of like it doesn't have to be precisely happening when it needs to be happening, unless you're tapering for me. It literally has to happen on the day you need to be strong. But there's usually a range of, okay, you're going to start to feel fatigue around this point. So once you feel that fatigue coming on and coach says it's planned, mentally that should make you feel better. That should make you say, okay, there's nothing to worry about because this is the plan, right? You have to tell the body, hey, you're not strong enough to do this. And then it's going to adapt, right? That's what happens when you're accumulating more work. You're pushing for more. And now you need to recover from that so that you can actually grow and you can actually improve. If you keep pushing that, in my experience with the 1,000 people I've worked with over the last decade, if you keep pushing that, your body needs to get to homeostasis as soon as possible. So if you're lifting, 450 when you're capable of squatting 500 pounds, but you're lifting it like in an extremely fatigued state and you're trying to force this all the time, your body's going to adapt and you're never going to give yourself a chance to recover. And you're going to probably just that's going to become your baseline, right? So you've effectively gotten weaker because you didn't give your body the chance to adapt to what it was doing. Not all the time. Sometimes, you can still grow through that, but it's just you risking injury. There's a lot of bad things that come from it, and it just doesn't feel good to feel weak like that. Oftentimes when this happens, lifters will start panicking about their technique. They'll want to change their technique. They'll start looking at other people that they think have similar leverages to them. They're just doing all these things that are just sending them down a path of destruction, right? When all they had to do was stay the course, dial back, don't change anything else. If you're changing 50 variables at once, you don't even know what's working, right? If you go in the gym and you feel beat up squatting in flats, yeah, if you put heels on and narrow your stance, you might not feel as beat because you're using different muscles. It's the same thing with sumo and conventional. It's the same thing with your grips on bench. There's so many different examples of this. This is probably one of the most valuable videos I put out. By the way, so yes, the sooner that you can identify, oh crap, I'm beat today, I need to dial back, the better off you're going to be. You have to continue to do this over time until it becomes habit. And once you get in the habit of not letting your emotions stop you from doing what you need to do to move forward, you're going to become unbreakable. You're going to become you're just going to be a mental beast in the gym, because you like what happens when you can't have a bad day? You're just going to stack up good days. You literally can't. You're going to go in the gym like, oh, I'm beat today. Great. That means I did my work over the past days, over the past weeks, whatever. And now it's time to recover. I'm moving forward. I was productive. I successfully created some form of overload that's going to allow me to recover and improve and hit a PR down the road. If you guys can do this, I'm telling you right now, I shouldn't even post this video. I should just save it. If you guys can do this, okay, then I'm telling you, I have seen it time and time again. It is such a skill to master this. And you know what the sad part is? That some of you will listen to this, maybe not my audience, but some of you will listen to this, and like, even though I'm telling you, maybe like not even 1% of you, like a very, like 10 people out of 1,000 people, whatever, how many views this video gets, they just, because their emotions are so powerful, and they're just very like emotional people, it's going to be very difficult for them to do this. But I'm telling you, look, I don't know who's listening to this video, right? And I'm literally like I'm telling you, like, some of you are going to be going through this exactly like right now when I'm saying this, and the fact that I'm saying it should let you know that this is a normal thing. It happens, and all you have to do is listen to your body, do the right thing, adjust. Now, don't get me wrong. If your coach isn't ramping volume and you're weak for some reason, I doubt it that you're going to be that weak, but it is possible that there's something else going on. Maybe you were moving. Maybe you're just not eating right at all. Maybe your girl broke up with you and you lost like 10 pounds. Like, I don't know. There could be like a million different reasons. And that's why it's important to kind of know or have somebody monitor those things. I tell my coaches, my coaches know this, because all of my coaches that work for me, this is something that I taught them through them working for me, and which has led them to get the results that they have. Right? They have to know, why. There should be somewhat of a reason as to why something is happening. There are going to be times when you check everything's in line, and it just doesn't make sense. So then what I like to do is I wash things out, but that is extremely rare, and that like never, that's such a rare occurrence. But there is an answer. There is a solution. There is always a way to move forward. It's just not going to be what you're emotionally feeling you want to do in the time. Maybe, you know what I mean? You're not just going to be able to have lift weight like in the moment. The action, like what you're actually doing to improve, it's a simple thing. You're just adjusting the weights and you're executing, and that's it. But the hardest part about this process is getting through those emotions. That's going to be the toughest part. So it's just one of those things that may take practice. You might have to go through it a couple times. I would say in a 16-week period, this might happen 3 to 4 times, maybe twice, maybe only once. But it should not be something that's happening like all the time. Occasionally, a couple times, a handful of times in a year. Again, if you guys can master this, you will be unbeatable. It will help you reach your potential faster, and you're just going to be happier with powerlifting. You're going to be happier lifting heavy because you're not having those emotional days anymore. Now, sometimes that's going to happen, of course. Like, there's nothing you can do about that. Everybody has bad days. Like, mentally, it is what it is. But you just got to keep pushing. That's it. You got to keep your eyes on the goal. You got to understand that you are destined for something greater, and you have to believe that you can be whatever it is that you want to be in the sport. And if you string together many, many days, weeks, hours, take it day by day, session by session of productivity, whether that's being strong or weak, whatever it is, you're still moving forward, okay? And eventually you look back over 10 years and you say, holy shit, 5 years, whatever, 3 years, a year, and you say, damn, I can't believe I stressed out about that weight that I could do for a set of 10 now. And that's how it goes. Anyway, I hope you guys are able to take something away from that one. If you did, let me know in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.